Commander, you are a monk, a master of hand-to-hand combat. Today, I'm going to show you how to play a Windwalker Monk the easy way, but before I do, let's take a look at how they work. Windwalker Monks are all about building up chi and then spending it on devastating attacks. By default, you will spend your energy on jab to build chi, but note you can also use expel harm to build chi, but only use it whenever you're in need of a self-heal. As for spending chi, your number one priority is to use Tiger Palm to maintain Tiger Power, which is a self buff that lasts for 20 seconds that increases your damage. Next, make sure you're using Rising Sun Kick enough to maintain its debuff on the target at all times. The debuff lasts for 15 seconds. Next, you'll want to use Fists of Fury whenever it's off cooldown. Now, occasionally you'll get a proc called Combo Breaker, which gives you either a free Tiger Palm or a free Blackout Kick. Your next priority is to make sure that you're using those free attacks whenever they're available. Next, you'll want to use Chi Wave on cooldown if you've taken that talent. And lastly, you'll spend the rest of your Chi on Blackout Kick. As for AoE situations, you can use Storm, Earth, and Fire on 2 additional targets, but you should only do this if the targets are going to stay up for at least 10 seconds. And if they share the same priority. Otherwise, if you have more than 3 targets, you should use Spinning Crane Kick to build Chi instead of Jab. And if you've chosen a level 100 talent Chi Explosion, use it in place of Blackout Kick, but only use it whenever you have 4 Chi. Now, Windwalker Monks have a lot of buffs, but the most important one is Tiger Eye Brew. Whenever you gain 10 stacks of Tiger Eye Brew, use it to give yourself a temporary but significant damage increase. And that's a very basic rundown on how to play a Windwalker Monk, but keep in mind the monk has a lot of intricate and situational abilities and talents that we haven't gone over. For this video, we're only covering the basics, but the good news is we can make the rotation even easier. But keep in mind that this is not for min-maxing or for hardcore raiders. This is for casual play, or people with disabilities like myself. You will need a mod called Gnome Sequencer, which can be found on WoW Interface. There will be a link in the description below, so download it, unzip it, and place it in your add-ons folder. Now, to make things easier, I have provided a file containing all of my macros designed for Gnome Sequencer. You can find a link to it in the description below. The file is called sequences.lua, so download it and place it in the Gnome Sequencer folder that you just put in your add-ons folder. If you followed all of these steps correctly, you're ready to log into the game and create the macros. Now that you have Gnome Sequencer set up with my sequences file, you are ready to begin making macros in game. It is important that you give the macros the names that I tell you, and that you do not put any text in the macro field. Just name them and place them on your action bar, and Gnome Sequencer will do the rest. The first macro is called WWS, and that's for your single target rotation. This macro will cover your single target rotation, but it's not flawless. It will use Jab and Expel Harm to build Chi, but it will prioritize your Chi spenders the best it can. It will keep Rising Sun Kick, Fist of Fury, and Chi Wave on cooldown as the Chi becomes available. The biggest flaw with the macro involves Tiger Palm and Blackout Kick, since both of these abilities use Chi at very specific times. When it comes to Tiger Palm, it's offset by Rising Sun Kick, which means that it'll go off a little bit more often than it needs to, but it will maintain 100% uptype on Tiger Power. On the other hand, if it's not ready, it might not consume the free proc that comes with Combo Breaker every time, so you might want to have Tiger Palm on an extra button. The same goes for Blackout Kick. The macro handles it pretty well, but you might want it on an extra button just to make sure that you're getting those combo breakers off and to make sure that you're not overcapping your Chi. You also need to cast Tiger Eye Brew separately just because of how it works, but the macro will cast Energizing Brew, Serenity, and Zuin the White Tiger whenever they're off cooldown. The second macro is called WWA, which will cover your AoE rotation. You're going to need to cast Storm, Earth, and Fire separately, and if you choose Chi Explosion, you're also going to need to cast that separately. Otherwise, the macro does just as good as a single target one. The Monk's a lot of fun, but he's a little bit more complex than other melee classes, and that makes him very hard to macro. Surprisingly though, these macros do pretty good, but still, if you want to get the most out of your class, you're going to need to play it the normal way, with multiple buttons. But that's pretty much how I play a Windwalker Monk. If you're interested, feel free to give it a try. So if you enjoyed this video, let me know by hitting that like button, or even the favorite button. And if you found it informative, perhaps you'd like to inform your friends by sharing it with them. And don't forget to subscribe if you'd like to see future videos on this channel. Thanks for watching, have a wonderful day, this is TheKephas, until next time.